When it comes to all the questions about trademarking, as a real attorney, I'm always just having conversations and consults. And so
Yeah.
today we're going to kind of go through this as if Orko, he's going to be registering his trademark, That Orko, in the realm of being a music producer. And so he's going to go through, ask the questions which you guys would have. And we're going to try it this way. And I think you're going to find this super helpful. So make sure you subscribe and keep on watching. So hit me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll just take you through it like, just when I was first kind of learning about it and because you got me through the process of doing it. So, you know, um, basically, why would I even need a trademark? Like, is it how absolutely necessary is it? I've been making beats and doing music for years and I've never needed a trademark before. Why do I need it now?
As someone who's actively using social media, this is one that comes up the least, but for me, it's the thing I'm most excited about being when you have your trademark, a piece of paper from the government that says you own your name, it actually
Yeah.
allows you to go on social media and just shut people down like within an hour. So meaning if you find there are infringers on social media that have set pages who are using your name, you can go and get their profiles deleted very quickly, but you have to have the registration to do that. Now, if you're like one day you wake up, you're like, oh, I gotta get it. There's an infringer. It actually takes about a year.
Wow.
So you waiting to do this is not a good idea. You want to do it ASAP. Now, there are other benefits besides that. That's just the one that I get the most excited about because I like ruining people's days. But when it comes to how this can really benefit you, you get to sue someone. If you don't have the registration, if someone violates your trademark, you can't sue them until you get it. Again, we're waiting a year. And you can also get your attorney's fees reimbursed. So if you have to come hire me, I'm not cheap, honey. You want to make sure you get the other side to pay to reimburse your attorney's fees. So all that, you know, combined, that's why you want to get your trademark.
Okay, so uh what how much does getting a trademark cost, like, generally? Like, is it a super expensive thing? Because I'm sure it's like a whole process. Am I paying an attorney and they're all inclusive? Is this, do I do it myself and I have to just go to a website and just pay like a quick fee?
Yeah, look, if you wanted to do it yourself, you can definitely try. And you just go to USPTO and you can find videos, online and tutorials and things like that. So you can. The base government filing fees are either 250 or 350. It depends on what you're filing for.
Okay.
And so again, you have to have a little knowledge of like how that works and why you're paying a different fee. But at the most, it's 350, and that's per class. So when we do a class for you, if you're a music producer, in the class of entertainment, that would be one. So you basically count how many things, like, so if you're selling clothes, that's different. So now you have two. So you go two times 350,
Okay,
$700.
so
So
you'd have to get it for each individual different thing that you're doing with the name. So if I was that Worko and I'm want to get it trademarked for music but then let's say I wanted to sell that Worko shirts, I'd have to get a separate trademark for that Worko shirts.
that's right. But
Let's
that's
say I
also
started and then
why.
a cologne brand like that. It wouldn't just be products in general. It would be like, would like shirts be different from like hats, or would that all be the
Yeah,
same thing?
so that would be, think of categories. So if you have a clothing category, it's all the things that you're selling in the clothing category. That's one. So t-shirts and hoodies and socks, beanies, that's one. If you're selling perfume, that's a whole different category. But it could be
Okay.
all kinds of perfumes. So anyway, for a lot of people, we usually just start with one. So if you're a music producer, it would just be you as an
Right.
entertainer or service provider. If you are, a musician, you are selling music. So that's kind of how it works. So let's pretend you're just doing one category, one classification. So your fee at the most is 350. Now, if you hire a law firm, a lot of law firms, they'll be around maybe 700 bucks, maybe 800
Wow.
bucks. So that's why, like for me, I always tell clients, I go, I can do what's called a knockout search, or you can do it for yourself. But that's
Okay.
always the first step. Okay, before you spend a year of your life trying to get a trademark, before you spend $1,200 trying to
Yeah.
get a trademark, do a search. And this is how it goes. There's kind of two steps. One, search online, search on Google, search on social media, search on music platforms, anywhere that's relevant to what you're doing. Take a look and see if anyone has a name. It doesn't have to be exact. Is it close to yours? Is it going to be
Right.
confusing? Like, So we're figuring out, is there anyone else out there? Now, just because they're out there doesn't mean they have, a priority over you. Maybe you have the rights. Okay. Again, why it's good to have an attorney to talk to. But the other piece that's often missed is that you actually go to uspto.gov, and that's where you can search for anything that's registered. We care
Okay.
a lot. Is there an Orko or that Orko already registered on USPTO? And if not, that's a pretty good sign. But again, just when doing that search, you have to be very thorough. So again, if you can hire an attorney, it's a lot cheaper just to do that knockout search. But that's what you do as step one. Don't just dive in and spend a lot of money. And
So what happens if I've been using my name for like 10 years, but with streaming and stuff, I'm noticing that there are, you know, three other producers using the same name, or artists, or a band, or just something like that. I'm sure, like, if I was a DJ and I had DJ in front of my name, I think it would be kind of tough to find something original sometimes. So when you're doing, what do you do then? Like, do I have to change my name? Like, if somebody has it registered, like, am I done? And what if they're registered like in, I don't know, New Zealand or something, but they're not even here? Or what if they don't even use the name anymore? Can I use it and trademark it?
yeah, so you wouldn't find registrations for other countries through USPTO, because remember, we're only trying to protect, if you're in the United States, we're
Okay.
protecting your name in all of the United States. That's the benefit of a federal trademark registration. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you do find someone, let's say on your internet search, and you find that Orko, and they're like, oh wait, that Orko is in Canada, or that Orko is in New Zealand,
Yeah.
then that actually probably is a good sign, because they're not in the United States. Because all we care about is who else is in the United States. Now, if you do find through USPTO, there's in that Orko registration, the next thing you're looking at is, well, what is it for? Is it that Orca the soda?
Mm.
Right? So if it's that Orko the soda, that's not the same thing as what you're doing as a music producer, as, if you're selling merchandise. So you actually can have the exact same trademark as someone else if it's in a different category.
Mm.
So, have you heard, like Pandora, the streaming service,
And then
versus
jewelry.
Pandora, the jewelry? Like, those can actually coexist.
And then, to be clear, just, I mean, trademarks are completely different from copywriting. So, like, if you're copywriting music and your name is in the title of, whatever it is, like, that's not a trademark.
Yeah. So, copyright is to copyright the actual creative work and to protect it. It's the music. It's, if you made an application, the tech behind it. And then the trademark is for the actual name and for the brand.
And then if I find somebody that is just, after, so you're saying it could take like a year to actually get it all approved, and then what? Like, I get like a fun little email or certificate, and then what? Like, if somebody pops up in 3 years or 4 years from now and they use it, like, then what? I just talk to an attorney and go, hey, they're using this? Or is there, like, do I go to the trademark office and go, hey, do I have to, like, stand in the line or something? Or what
Yeah.
do I got
So
to do?
good questions. The trademark office, they're not going to do anything other than by registering. They actually will stop people. So if there's another that Orko that tries registering in your class, even if he's like, it's not a music producer, but it's like an influencer, a social media influencer, they would actually stop that person because it's actually in the same class that you would be in. So that's actually the really nice thing of being registered. So that's the one thing the trademark office does do. They don't deal with like your personal infringement stuff. So yes, you would contact an attorney to get help in some instances, but like I'm telling you, if you have that piece of paper, which is what it's a
Mhm.
certificate. If you have that piece of paper, when you have an infringement, let's say if it's online, you can, like, search on Google, Facebook, trademark takedown, and it's pretty intuitive, and you can end up doing it yourself. And so you don't have to pay an attorney because you already did all the hard stuff. So there's lots of different ways, but the point just being that you can now actually enforce your trademark. And what happens is that after you get the trademark, between years 5 and 6, you do have to renew. And then you have to renew again between 9 and 10. And it's just basically you like tell the trademark office, hey, I'm still using it, I'm still doing my thing. And just to make sure that you keep your exclusive rights. But that's kind of how it works.
okay, so let's say we go through the process. I didn't find anything, but then they reject they say no, because I mean it's a process. You have to get accepted and approved for your your trademarks, I would assume. So what happens if you get it, no, or what should you do if you find somebody is using it? I guess at that point you should just change your name, and then like, right, like if you
Yeah,
if
maybe not. Maybe not. So the way it works is actually whoever uses the name first wins. It's a priority thing. So some people they're like super scared. They're like, I'm gonna be that Orko, the super producer, content creator. So I don't want anyone to know about it yet because I'm not ready. I don't have my website. I don't have my social media. That's actually not how it works. You don't want to wait because there might be that Orko that starts using it a few months before you. And so if a dispute comes up, you have to prove it. So, what can happen is that even if you do get the registration or like you're doing a search and you're like, oh my gosh, there's that Orko. And you see that even though they got the registration, they still have been using it less time than you can actually file to get their stuff canceled. So it's more about just being really like diligent, how who's using it, where are they located, how long have they been using it? And then when you're not sure, talk to a professional like a trademark attorney.
All right, very cool. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a very intimidating process, and I was very lucky that I had you because I have my name is trademarked,
Yeah,
and
see, we in fact did
we
acquire the That Orko trademark.
I've been official now, and it's been cool. You know what I mean? It just to have even just that feeling of professionalism, and just knowing that I'm taking my music career kind of seriously for stuff, and I want to earn money, and I don't want any problems down the line, just for any reason, because I mean there's so many artists out there that have the same names as other artists, and like on Spotify, like there's so many like generic names that just people are, and I don't even know what their situation is, but it's a lot of work to build up all your goodwill for your fans, and just
Right.
building up your numbers and your different streaming services or your social medias. And so to kind of have that peace of mind that you're the legit one, and when you're trying to get your check marks, and when you're trying to get all of those things, all this stuff plays into it. So
Yeah. All right. So last two quick things. So in regards to Ashley's question, should I have my logo ready to go prior to trademarking? And this is a great question.
yeah,
You can trademark your logo, the picture, the image, and not or and you trademark just the text. And because this is expensive, I always tell people just start with the text
yeah,
version
for
because
sure.
your name of being an artist or the band is so important. So start with just the name. The logo will change like over the
Right.
next 5 years, 10 years, like you know what I'm saying? So get it if you want it, but really the name is that important. And then last, Shred Gravity had just said there's dozens of other bands. Yeah, so that's why we do the knockout search.
Yeah.
Because as you're like deciding, do you even want to have the fight? If there's so many other people using your name, like, do you even want to go down that road? Maybe just come up with a new
I say
name.
don't do it. I say don't even do it. And I think if I say, even if you, let's say you've been a band for like a year and you guys picked a cool name, and then there's like, two or three other people, just change your name. Like it's people kind of understand as you're kind of growing with your thing, just keep your fans that are there in the loop and stuff like that. Making changes to from your distributor to change some of the things that you need to change is not really that big of a deal. Or, changing a couple things on your YouTube things. When as you kind of grow, like I was even in a band that we started off as one name, and then we made something that we thought was way more kind of commercial sounding. We changed it. And so I would recommend definitely making sure that your name is not just used by somebody else. Just come up with something original, like be creative. It's half the fun.
All right, so there you go. There's your trademark consultation. If you guys need further help, feel free to reach out to my law office. I'll link it down below. Good luck.